Oh, bother.
Hello my friends and welcome back to the channel. I'm Yin Yang and today we are jumping into the Golgfag gameplay showcase. And I know some of you are saying, wait, Yin Yang, did you just get demonetized? I don't make any money, so let's go.
What you're about to see is pre-alpha footage of Owen to Destruction. This was recorded months in advance, so there's still some placeholders in game. We're really hard at work right now and can't wait for you to get your hands on it at release.
Loud, boastful, and in charge.
Golgfag Maneater's hungry, and he's on a mission.
Golgfag sets up his camps, takes on some contracts, beats up everyone in the area, heads off again.
Money, meat, and the open road. Life's good when the loot's flowing. What more could an ogre possibly need? Golgfag Maneater. Are you his friend? Or his food? If you've coin, you can placate him. At least for a time. Yes, if the price is right, Golgfag will fight for any cause. But
I just got to say this right now. His model is gorgeous. Now, I never really played with the ogres when I was playing tabletop, but goodness gracious, I love every single one of them. I think that he's looking really fantastic, and let's keep it moving.
But there's one closest to his heart. His stomach. Forget fame, forget sprawling hosts and great nations. Golgfag hungers for bounties and meals of mammoth proportions. And lucky for us, we've stumbled upon a buffet. I don't know why Ostlund and Nordland are fighting, but they've money and hate enough between them to keep...
Hold on, can we talk about why Ostlund and Nordland are fighting? Because if that's going to be in the game, I need to know. Karl Franz has a hard enough time already with the Empire, guys.
Us interested for a picnic or two. We'll bleed both sides dry and move on. An easy feat with the Maneater trait. Increased income from post-battle loot and decreased upkeep for Maneater units makes Golgfag a ravenous plague of an ogre. No surprise that he's the most successful and well-travelled of his kind. I'd expect no less from the official 100th legendary lord, despite what Andrew may have claimed in his showcase. But even living legends fall on hard times. We've a crummy camp, forlorn funds, and a lamentable larder. Our lads are eager to build up their loot piles, and a rumbling belly is to an ogre what peace is to a greenskin. Just unacceptable. Best get raiding. Raiding's a bit like reading if you're an illiterate ogre, so do browse our blog for a deeper dive into any of the mechanics.
Now, I did look at the blog. I have not studied it, but the mechanics that they have updated look pretty cool, and I'm glad that they're doing the split tech tree. I hope that everybody eventually gets a split tech tree. I don't think the Empire got one in their update. I'll have to double check that, but, you know, regardless, still pretty cool.
Next characters and units introduced in this showcase. Now then, I'm peckish. Roast bull, anyone?
Golgfag brings his loud, boastful personality into combat, and you'll quickly see this as he's tearing through enemy infantry, or just bogging.
Now, last video, I went through all of their stats. I'm not going to do that this time, just because the big YouTubers already have their hands on all of the... they already have their hands on the DLC, so I'm going to let them handle that, and I will just keep it moving so that you're not watching this video all day, which is already coming out the next day, because I was working all day.
Down larger infantry, such as cavalry or monsters. But one unique aspect he brings in for the ogres is the ability to take range shots or pop shots at enemy infantry.
Golgfag, he can go anywhere, work for anyone, and get involved in anything he wants to. The downside of that, though, is that the more time he helps out other factions, the less time he is building up his own economy. Golgfag sets up his camp, sacks and raises to get all the meat and loot he can from the surrounding area, and maybe he finds a contract to work for someone. He'll go and take on their enemies, beat up them, and then he finds the next contract somewhere else.
We've eaten, raised, and sacked our way through bickering menfolk and exotically seasoned green things to find ourselves in Ostermark.
Now, before we move on, I do want to say, I want to see multiplayer-wise what it's like to try and hire Golgfag, if that's even possible. I imagine it's not, but if they did think ahead on that, I would love to see it, because Karl Franz hiring Golgfag to go and deal with Festus, for example, would be fantastic.
Land ripe with war, which can only mean fresh contracts. Golgfag's contracts are a unique way to meet new people, see the world, and make a little bit of pocket money, but they shouldn't be confused with Ogre Kingdom's contracts, which have been renamed to bounties and have had their own tweaks. Golgfag's contracts are
I see that you can refresh those now. That's really cool.
entirely different, giving Total War Warhammer its first proper mercenary faction. Essentially,
I know I keep pausing, guys, and I will have the original video linked down below, but I gotta say, for them to say that he is the first mercenary faction tells me all that I need to know. I can guarantee, or at least I'm 99% sure, but I'm going to say guarantee that the Dogs of War are coming in some shape, form, or fashion, and they are going to be mercenary based, just like Golgfag is here.
when we set up camp in a new region, the warring factions of that region are eager for us to turn the tide of their silly little squabbles. Yeah, I get it, Countbat. Face the Empire's real mean. You got gold, or are we just chin-wagging? Oh, now we're cooking. Alright, yeah, we're in. With the contract accepted, we've now a turn limit to fulfill the requirements and reap the rewards. To fulfill the contract, we must take aggressive actions against the target faction or factions to gain points towards an overall goal. Once that goal is met, the contract's fulfilled, and we can either stay employed to the client or take our loot and find new business elsewhere.
Ostermark does not need help
Of course,
dying,
once that
guys.
contract's fulfilled, there's nothing preventing us from turning around and accepting a new one from the faction we previously terrorized. Yeah, I get it, Mutton Chop. Vampires are real mean, but they're also quite lean from a meat perspective, so you're on your own, mate. Set up shop, fight for the locals, eat the locals, take their gold, and move on. That's the life for Golgfag. Each contract takes us further and further afield, our camp forever trailing behind us. Wherever there is war, there are contracts. Some are tempting, but not always in the direction of our heart's desire. In this way, Golgfag edges ever closer to his mammoth meal. Northward then, into Kislev, or, as we like to call it, the Frozen Isle.
Contracts are really exciting. It's a completely new lens on the Warhammer world. Normally, you look at territory as, I need to go get this for myself. That's just my new expansion. But now you consider, there's a nice contract here. Do I actually work for someone else and give the land to them? Maybe double cross them later and give it to somebody else. And later again, maybe it should be yours after all.
The current army ability system for the ogres doesn't necessarily take into account what they're all about. They're these large creatures that's all about charging into combat and tenderizing any target that's in their way. Through the rework, we're going to be changing that, so every unit that's charging on the battlefield, the player will progressively gain points to spend on their army abilities.
Ogres.
That's really good. That's really cool sounding. Being able to utilize that to continue to buff up your army. You're a momentum faction, a lot like Khorne, which is what the ogres are.
In Warhammer 3 already a great race, but we felt that it was missing a little bit of the nomad fantasy that comes from the tabletop. So now we've made camps more important, allowing them to move, changing how they build. We've also made meat more important to emphasize sacking and raiding. So when ogres turn up to your territory, it's trouble and you need to get rid of them as soon as possible.
Now, I'm not sure if they mentioned this in the blog or not, but I'm curious how far the camps do move. I want to see exactly how far they're able to move, because it is taking down and pulling up a camp. So at the very most, it should be moving at probably half the speed of a normal army. And I will also want to know if the camps can give meat back to the ogres. I think I read that in the blog, if they didn't just bring it up.
Great Orthodoxy, Ice Court, they taste the same, so what are they fighting about? Don't know, don't care. We're happy to brawl for all sides, so long as the gold and the meat keep flowing. And both are. The camp's growing thanks to our excess of meat, the lads' bellies are full, making them better fighters, and Golgfag's gained a bit of notoriety, earning himself a big name. Big names have altered requirements to gain, and are now more powerful than they used to be. You could say they're bigger than before. But big ogres means big hunger, and meat will now play a more vital role in the ogre playstyle. We'll need meat to grow our camps, manage the effectiveness of our units in battle via the hunger gauge, and use it to decide how to interact more tactically with the Great Maw. Speaking of meat, Kislev's offering a decent buffet, but it's not quite the feast we were hoping for. Norska then. Let them tremble before our big names.
Currently, you can only have a single big name, which isn't really true to how the ogres are. Greasus has many. So now you can have all of the big names, but to make it a bit more balanced, we've made the conditions to get the big names a bit harder and made the effects a bit more exciting to match.
Good.
Big
No
names
problem
will
with
have
that.
a more grander impact in battle through various buffs to statistics or just additional abilities that will help give you that edge in combat.
The offerings to the Maw right now are one-use abilities that happen every 10 turns, which we didn't think was very engaging. So now you can have multiple offerings to the Maw active at a time, but it just comes with a meat upkeep. So if you've got lots of meat on your...
Okay. So is this per army though? Because I don't want to have all of my armies being drained all the time, as well as my camps.
Your armies, you can have all of them going at a single time, but it's going to cost you.
Could it be? Doth my rumbling belly betray me? Nay, 'tis it, the promised meal. One last battle to fulfill Marienberg's contract, and a mammoth meal to sink our teeth into. First though, let's change up our offerings to the Great Maw, making them battle-focused for the feast to come. This is it, boys. Ready your bellies, file your teeth, open your gobs, and let's get some meat. Right, here's the plan. Kill the menfolk till they die dead, then eat them afterwards. Great plan, best plan. Yeah, they've got cavalry, giants, mammoths, skinwolves, and the wrath of the chaos gods behind them, but we've got pigback riders.
These are so fantastic. I love them. Oh, goodness. Wow. I don't care what their stats are. They're in the army.
The Pigback Riders are a very unusual unit,
Oh, their stats are actually pretty decent. Okay.
but it's through that unusualness you'll find a bit of a surprise. They're very well equipped against cavalry units and just large units in general.
Oh, no, Wolfric, no. You're not getting away from us that easily. Meet my good friends, the Yetis.
Yetis are these mountainous, aggressive creatures that have an unusual ability
So
to...
I'm looking at these guys and I'm thinking, wow, these are really good looking models. And then I remember that there was already a mod that made these for the workshop. I think it's by Lost to Insanity. And he did really good. He did really good because these are close. These are pretty close to what that looked like. Now, they were... Lost to Insanity built it off of a orc skeleton, I want to say. And these are more ape-like. But still, speaking of ape-like, is the Monkey King next? I don't know. But we've got some monkeys already in the game.
to create ice weapons out of crude objects, such as clubs. They're also able to debuff units around them.
Debuffs are great, but this is just all a bit chaotic. Thank the Great Maw, we've got a Bruiser keeping everyone in line.
Bruiser both acts as...
Okay, speaking of bruisers, and speaking of mods, there is a great Bruiser mod that is on the workshop as well. That's going to be by Calm and Normal Time, I want to say. And it treats the Bruisers more like they're Maneaters, where they can have different career paths, and they are amazing. Definitely go check that out. I'll have a link down in the description below so that you guys can check that mod out. Hopefully, Calm and Normal Time wants to come back and put those attributes onto this Bruiser. But regardless, this Bruiser is pretty cool.
It's an aggressive and supportive role for the Yoga Kingdoms. Where the Tyrant's attention lays elsewhere, it's down to the Bruiser to make sure that everyone is fighting to the best of their capabilities.
Sometimes the Bruiser's not enough. Sometimes you need Bragg the Gutsman.
Oh my gosh. He's so happy.
Bragg is a Reaper and an Executioner both in name and from the gameplay perspective. He's a terrifying figure amongst the Ogres due to his taboo way of killing them.
Bonus versus
You know,
Bard.
this is shaping up to be quite the dinner party. All we're missing now is the Thunder Tusk.
Wow.
The
Oh, it
Thunder
has
Tusk is
missile
this
attacks.
large, hulking creature that's able to manipulate the elements around it to create ice projectiles.
They scream and they run, but there's
Victory so certain, Golgfag can already smell the barbecues and taste gold on his tongue. All that's left now is... Wait, no, we didn't want fast food. Come on, Golgfag. Bit of cardio before dinner never killed anyone. Will Golgfag catch his meal? How far will his stomach take him? Or will you indulge his lust for loot and raid the world? Thoughts, comments, recipes? Let us know in the comments below or follow our links to wishlist now.
Okay, so the ogres are looking pretty amazing. I'm mostly looking forward to the greenskins. I know they don't need an update, at least in my opinion, or most opinions, I think. They don't need an update. But Gorbad Ironclaw has been like the one orc that I have been truly missing out on. I know some other people had other ideas. I wanted Gorbad Ironclaw to come into the game, and he is coming. I cannot wait to see that. That being said, I don't believe that I will be in town when that trailer drops. So when that does happen, I'll try my best to get a video out for that, but it might be a little closer to release. That being said, I am looking very forward to release and looking forward to creating more content. Now, the more popular channels are probably going to be doing the actual Let's Plays, and I might do a Let's Play for Gorbad, but let me know down in the comment section below who you want to see the most out of the DLC, and we'll do that. That being said, I do want to, I guess, let you guys know here that I'm planning on doing an Immortal Empires A to Z playthrough where we're going to be trying to get through all of the campaigns, vanilla and modded, that we can get our hands on. Just so you guys have like the full breadth of what's available to you. I think that my current mod set has like 200 plus, maybe 250 plus factions that you can play with. Not all of them are as fleshed out as others, but regardless, I want to be able to showcase all of them. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Now, all of that being said, guys, I hope that you are looking forward to this DLC. I know that I am. I cannot wait to really sink my claws into this one, and I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. So until then, to all my friends, wherever you are, good morning, good evening, and good night. I'll catch you in the next one, and have a great day.